They think, oh, well, this was like a big step up that you went to ESPN. In fact, it was a major pay cut.
Laura Rutledge is a sports journalist who you can find on ESPN and the SEC Network. She's a Florida girl who's also a new mom, and I'm so excited that you made time to talk with me. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited about this.
The Black Lives Matter movement is huge, and it's making an impact right in sports, specifically in college football, since that's your bread and butter. I wanted to talk to you about Kylin Hill, who said he won't be playing this season if Mississippi doesn't change its flag. What do you think about that?
I'm so impressed by Kylin Hill, and I always have been, but to see him come out with a strong statement that there are so many others that feel that way, but maybe didn't have the courage to come out and say what he said and to make such a strong stance. And I think that they're going to have to pay attention to him. And it's a shame that they haven't already. It's a shame that in 2020, we're still having these discussions, but they are so incredibly important. And I think that his leadership and his courage that he's showing right now is just another part of who he is that maybe people didn't realize, maybe people didn't know about. And so I expect for him to be fully supported by his team and by his coaches and everything. And then it's got to continue to go on up from there, and they need to listen to him.
Very well said.
Laura's heart has always been in the game. From her days as a ballerina to her time as a pageant queen, she's always felt the most comfortable on the field.
So what happened after college? Like, you are on your graduation day. What's next?
So I actually missed graduation because I had already gotten a job as the Tampa Bay Rays reporter. If I were to tell any story about just sticking with it and trusting yourself in this business, this would be it. I finally had beat this guy's door down at Fox Sports Florida. Well, all I did for the entire summer after my junior year, so leading into my senior year of college, was copy DVDs. I mean, literally all day long, copy DVDs and ate Mike and Ike. Because I noticed that their website didn't have any new content on it. It was just kind of sitting there as a website, but there wasn't anything new. I said, can I write you guys position previews for Florida and Florida State football for the upcoming season? I think it opened up to just a little bit more of them saying, okay, this is, and the reason I tell this story is definitely not to pat myself on the back. It's more just when you're discouraged, sometimes just finding another door to navigate through will end up leading to success.
Soon, she would become a part of one of the most famous businesses in sport, ESPN. But first, she had to nail the interview.
SEC Network and ESPN interviewed me in the Atlanta airport. And I really think it's just because they thought I was crazy and they felt bad for me because they finally met with me and they hired me for a role on SEC Network, which, like I said, I had all but given up on. I had already decided I was going to take a job with CNN International and do a totally different route, which is not really what I wanted to do, international sports, but it was a major step back from what I had been doing. And so I think it's funny, a lot of people, if they look at how I got to where I've gotten, they think, oh, well, this was a big step up that you went to ESPN. In fact, it was a major pay cut, and it was kind of a risk at the time because I was leaving a great job and great security with Fox Sports and with San Diego and all that to come and kind of take a risk on myself. And at the time I thought, okay, I'm 25. There's no other time that I can do this in my career where I just say, I'm going to give up a great opportunity to try and go do, what I wanted to do. And so I think when you look at people in this business and in a lot of businesses, a lot of times when things start to change for them is when they either take a gamble on themselves or kind of bet on themselves or take that leap of faith risk, which is really scary. And there were so many moments where I thought I made a mistake.
What would you tell yourself now? What would you tell yourself then? The person that was very apprehensive about this huge decision that she just made.
I would have been like, girl, you're going to be fine. You need to just calm down, and I would have told myself that so many times even before that too, because I put so much pressure on myself in college that, I look back and I'm like, man, I didn't even enjoy my college experience because the whole time I was like, well, I have to wake up at 3 a.m. to, go work on the radio, which I think it's good to have something like that, but you also want to just try and have more balance. I'm still trying to figure out the whole balance thing. But, I also would have told myself to just be patient with where I'm at in each step of this whole journey. And I think it's really hard to just be where your feet are it's something that actually Maria Taylor, I think, does such a good job of reminding me of and reminding other people of. She has always said that comparison is the thief of joy. And I believe that's somebody else's quote, but I always attribute it to her anyway. It's a great quote, and it's a great thing to keep in our minds, because I think I spent a lot of time comparing and saying, well, I need to be doing this, or I'm not doing enough. And, and really it's fine. Like, whatever you are doing is enough, and you are enough. And those are some of the things that I wish I would have known and accepted during those times.
You have to be where your feet are and believe in yourself, and believe that whatever, and like, you're a woman of faith, I am too, that wherever God wants you to be is where you will be. And that's just that.
You just gave me chills. That's so true. And as much as we think we know, we don't know. and I honestly look back and say so many thank you prayers that I wasn't where I thought I needed to be, because if it was up to me, I would have crashed and burned long before this point, because I just wasn't ready.
Now you're in your mid-20s. What are you doing in your personal life?
Shout out to Josh. That's his jersey. He was a Major League Baseball player. And actually, when we met, he was a minor league baseball player. And so, he was doing that. I was chasing this sports broadcasting dream. And then, he got called up to the big leagues, and I was doing my thing. We were just kind of all over the place. And then when he proposed, and it was like, okay, now we're going to get married and we're going to do all this. That was really another part of my decision to say, well, I'm not going to keep going on with Fox Sports San Diego, because that's not going to work for us. He can't be out in San Diego when he's got to be all these other places for baseball and for his career. And so that's another thing where at the time I really blamed getting married on, not being able to do what my career wanted to do, which is so wrong. And I wish that I could change those feelings, and I wish I could change some of the things I said to him at the time, because I was so frustrated with just like me wanting to make this life decision, but then it not falling in line with my career. I think what I learned, and what I would say to especially young women in this business, is do your life first. Like, this job will follow. Things will fall into place. Eventually, you will find opportunities that you never thought you would find. You will hit some low points along the way, but your life and your foundation in your home is so incredibly important.
Wow. A good support system is critical.
If someone's not going to support you, don't even go down that path.
Okay, let's talk about your job right now. You have some really cool co-stars and really cool people that you interview. What's that about?
Oh my goodness. I love everything that I get to do. And I sit here all the time and just like pinch myself. I can't believe that I get to work with these people. Paul Feinbaum, Marcus Spears, Ryan Clark, Dan Orlovsky, the list goes on. And Maria Taylor, who is one of my closest friends. So many of these people who I just treasure, and I will treasure for the rest of my life. And so I think that my favorite part of the job and all the shows that I do and the games and whatever it is just that camaraderie of being with all of them, and then also finding ways to entertain and make really good TV for the people at home, which ultimately is our most important audience and who we care the most about.
What do you want your legacy to be? I know you have a child now, and I feel like that question adds some new weight when you're a mom.
Especially as a mom of a girl, I feel like, just trying to raise a really strong, confident woman. I just always want people to feel that I care about them. And I'm very aware that like relatively soon or whenever, I'm going to be old news, and that's totally fine by me. I love doing this and I love this business, but I truly cannot wait for the next group to come in and for all of you to take my job and to, come through and make your mark on this. And I think that's going to give me great joy.
I definitely don't think you're going to be old news anytime soon. You're amazing. Thank you so much for being on Girls of the Game. I had an amazing time talking with you.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so excited that you're going to be an intern with ESPN. And that means that we'll get to talk a lot more.